up, Nicole?
Hi.
All right.
Come on in.
Podcast will start in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Unqualified Professionals.
All right, Nicole, I got you here. Bartons Pizzeria in Highland, established in 1962 by your father. And I want to know how it got to there. And I also want to know, like, your early life and how you got up to this business point.
Yeah. So my dad was, he wasn't even in the pizza business. He worked at Inland Steel. He was a milkman. He was a beautician for Clairol. And my grandmother, he was the only child of my grandmother, and she married a man by the name of Ralph Tresillo, and they had a restaurant together. It's called the Wedge Inn on the corner of Indianapolis Boulevard and 45th, right here in Highland. And it was a really nice restaurant. It was sit down, white tablecloths, and at one point they said, let's put pizza in the back. We'll put a pizza kitchen in the back. It's a Italian restaurant, 100%, and they had a window. And my dad was the guy in the window, and he would throw the pizzas up in the air, you know, for the whole nostalgic kind of thing. And so he did that for like a couple months, and he's like, you know what? I want to open a pizza place. Like, I don't want to do the restaurant. I want to do pizza. And his first location was in Lansing, and he was a natural. Like, he wasn't much of a worker. I mean, he was a worker, but he was so intelligent. He was so smart, you know? And so he just picked up on the recipes that Ralph had, and he ran with it.
That's so awesome. So with your early life, how did you get into this growing up, and how was it? You grew up, I mean, obviously always in the pizza place, or no?
Yeah, so my parents were divorced. So they divorced when I was really young. And I lived in Griffith. I'm from Griffith. And my dad was living in Illinois. And he worked. I mean, he worked all the time. And it's funny because we didn't really actually grow up on Barton's Pizzeria. Well, my mom and dad were divorced, and it was a bad situation. You know,
Right.
It wasn't great.
No.
And so my mom was like, we're not getting Bartons. So I grew up on Villa.
Okay.
Villa, I love Villa pizza. I really did. Like, back in the day, you know? Yeah. And that's what we had every Friday night. And so when we got older, obviously, you know, he's like, you want to work in the pizza place or what? And we're like, yeah, all right. So I started here in this location when I was 16 years old. Years prior, he would make us like work for summer school. You know, he's like, this summer you got to work and pay off summer school, or you have to work and pay off something, you know. And so we were in the pizza place really young, like 14, 15 years old.
So no matter what, he was making you earn it, whether it be for summer school or whatever it may be. Even though he had his own business, he was making his children earn some sort of a keep, if you will, or pull your own weight. That speaks volumes.
Yeah, no free rides. He was a tough guy. He was raised in military school. My grandma, he was the only child of my grandparents, and our whole family, they were in the restaurant business, some kind of restaurant business. So my grandma, they had grocery stores back in the day. And so when she made money, she thought she was going to do something great for my dad. She sent him to military school, which he hated, but it gave him this like sternness about him and this this drive. Like he was a tough guy, and he spoiled us in a sense, but he made us work for everything we had. And I'm really thankful for that. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, well, you also don't want to be one of those children of someone with a business, and they just it's all handed to you. They never know the value of a true dollar or hard work even. And I think that's one thing that separates you maybe from there's a lot of people out there with mom and pop shops, but I feel like in this business, and working here when I was younger, you would never ask anyone to do something you weren't yourself do it. You would work oven, you would make pizzas, you would answer phones, you would make everything just as much as the person that's least amount on the totem pole. And I think that speaks volumes to other people.
Yeah.
It really does. So Barton's, this specific location, I never knew that this was the very first spot you worked.
Yeah,
So this
in high
actually-
school.
So this holds probably somewhere even extra to your heart.
It does. It does. Yeah. My dad had partners, Bill and Diane Stokes. They ran this location. So my dad wasn't really my boss. Diane Stokes was. And so, but I came in, I didn't want to, I don't know. I'm not like I am now.
Yeah.
But I would, I started at the bottom. I started on ovens and cut, wrap, and bag. And there was cooks here, and they're like, "You gonna cook?" I'm like, "Nope." I had no desire to do any of that.
Man, that's something that you gotta admire, though. Like the fact that it was your father's business, but you still started from the bottom.
Oh yeah.
So that to me is just amazing. Another thing I think is also great is not only this a family-ran business, but it's also family-driven. Like growing up, families in Griffith, families here in Highland, Indiana, I grew up ordering Bartons. Let's get Bartons on Friday night. Let's get Bartons. And it's something that's even carried over into the next generation. I mean, since 1962, you think about this, when this location, what year did this location open?
This one was 1975.
So this location since 75, you've had families continue. Each generation is ordering Bartons. Each generation is sticking with this home business and this home feel, and I think that's one thing you really get out of Bartons when you eat here and you grew up on it. It always brings you back to home.
Oh yeah, I hear it all the time. People are like, you say Bartons, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't thought of that place." And a lot of people they've moved away, they've moved south, but they come back. They're like, "Can you double wrap that or put it in a box because I'm going to wherever, I don't know, Cedar Lake."
I mean, even when I worked here, we had people hitting us up to put it on dry ice to send it to Arizona, or send it to California or Texas or somewhere. But the shipping cost is just insane.
I've looked into it. It's shipping. It's packaging. There's a lot involved in that, and I don't know if that's the route I want to go. I know there's a lot of pizza places that do.
But that you don't want to take a hit on your product, like it get there and it not be Bartons.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or that would be earth shattering to you.
Yeah.
So, one thing I think that was really good about you as a small business owner was you always made time to put in the extra effort for your employees, not just your business. And like there was times where you would say, Barton's night out on dinner, and we would go out, me, you, the whole crew, and it was on you, but it was an appreciation with the crew because some of the crews we had were A1.
Yeah.
Like we worked so hard here, like almost like as if it was our business, and I think it speaks volumes because even these big corporations don't do that. Some of them don't give back. And so do you think that's very important to show people that you really are appreciative of everything?
Yeah, and I've learned a lot. I'm going to tell you, I haven't always been like, when I started out, I was a woman, I was young. When I bought this pizza place, I was 30 years old. I learned a lot. Yeah, I'm 51 years old. I have to think
Who's
about
counting?
And so I learned a lot in all these years. I used to be a lot meaner, because I felt I had to prove something, But nowadays, it's, and when you worked, we had a lot of great employees. I mean, they come in here, they're going to prom, they're getting married, there's Barton's romances, like.
Yeah. There is. She weren't.
I tell you can't do that here, but they did it anyways. And so there's a lot of history, and there's a lot of families, and yeah, oh God.
I don't feel like now you see Gordon Ramsay fly off the handle. You see certain people fly off I mean, there was a time where he said even he worked for a chef where, he sent out bad chicken and it came back everything but the feathers, like the dude threw it at him. Yeah. So, I've seen, your best and your worst, but I think that's necessary, especially when it's your name on something, right? Like if they're eating at Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen or Gordon Ramsay's Burger in Vegas or Gordon Ramsay's Steak or Barton's Pizzeria in Highland or Barton's Pizzeria in Hammond, Indiana, that's your name up there. If I mess up this pizza, they're not coming after Nico. They're coming after Bartons, whether it be Google, Yelp, or all these. Now everything is so out there with the strong sense of social media and the power of social media, it is so quick for you to get a bad review and a good review.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to that. I don't read any Google. I mean, it comes to my phone, and somebody says something good, I put a heart. Somebody says something bad, and I'm like, sorry, you know, you have to apologize and stuff like that. But and I do try to fix problems. Like I'll screenshot it and I'll send it to the manager that was on duty that day. But I don't put a lot of time and thought into it, because we had companies, competition. They would have their employees like put bad reviews up for us. I mean, we knew it, and so we're like, you can't put a lot of thought into it. You have to take it into consideration. But yeah, some of those Google reviews, boy, they can get nasty. But yeah, it's we're human though. I mean, I'm a human being. Like of course I want to be businesslike and be professional, and I have to do that. But when you come after our name and stuff like that, I have a lot of writing on this, you know, a lot of, this is, my name's on my shirt, you know. I really take a lot of pride.
I feel like it's a difference between a bad review when it gets like, you know, business, and then it gets personal. Like, oh, well, this person's doing this all the time, or that's how you know it's probably personal.
Right.
So, one thing that was always good with you was you let it go.
Yes.
If something bad happened that day, the next day when Nico walked in, it was Nico and Nicole again. It was Barton's Pizza again. We never you didn't hold that against me. If I messed up a pizza on Tuesday, when I came in on Wednesday, it's short-term memory. You can't hold that, or else you'll end up with a very bad.
It's nothing personal. It's business. It's always business.
It's always business.
And I'm like a faucet. I run hot and cold. I'm happy all the time, and then when something happens, I'm like a little bit of hot water, but then I turn it off and we carry on. But yeah, you can't be like that. You can't hold grudges. You can't get mad all the time, you know. And
so, with it, you know, you're located in Highland, Indiana. So how would you feel if you paid people minimum wage? The minimum wage here is still $7.25, which is what it was when I worked here.
Right.
Isn't that doesn't that?
I don't know
What the
anybody
hell?
that's paying minimum wage. Who's doing that? We don't do that.
No.
No, you couldn't keep anybody. I mean,
It's
I
an
don't
insult.
know. It is
At this point.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It just, I can't fathom why Indiana is still that way. Like $7.25, that's insane. It to me, it's something, and especially if you did it through COVID, right? Like when COVID hit, I want to know how it was for you. You see a lot of small businesses closing their doors, and you're probably on the edge of your seat like, shit. And how did you navigate through that? Because obviously you're still here, you're still thriving. Not only that, you were not only here, but you're thriving and keep on moving up to the next level. Let me know what that experience was like as a business owner, especially a small one.
It was so scary. Like I didn't know what was going to happen. I'm like, we're done. Like, let me find something else to do. Like, what should I do? But honestly, we did so well during COVID, and because we were already set up I felt so bad for these restaurants that had dine in. They had to shut everything down. All those waitresses and waiters and servers like that lost their jobs or whatever. And we were already set up. We're pickup and delivery. So we went off without a hitch. Put a sign on the door. You want drive up? We'll come out and bring it to you. We did so well during that, but we closed down an extra day. We had to give our employees a day off. You know, we weren't open 7 days a week. And I was taught 7 days a week from this time to this time. And COVID changed everything. And it made us take a day off. We took Sundays off. For 2 years, I was closed on Sundays. And I loved it. You know, it was amazing.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah, it was my church day. And I'm like, that's great. And then, so in our Hammond location, we let them close on Mondays. So always a Bartons was open. But we alternated the days just to make it, functional for everything.
That's so smart.
Yeah, and so, but it changed everything. It really did. And the pay, we had to up. We were paying people like, $10 an hour to do stuff. And now that's doubled, like you have to pay people for what they're worth now. And it's like everything went up. You go to the grocery store, it's so expensive, and so we had to keep up with that. And yeah, we had to raise our prices a little bit, not a lot, but we raised everything.
But still, it's so easy in the pockets. I mean, not only that, but this is the only pizza place, I'll say it, wherever I go that I've traveled to, where I live now, they don't do what Barton's does. One thing that Barton's will always have was that free pop with the pizza. And with certain sizes now. But when
Yeah.
I was there, when I was younger, obviously the economy was a lot different. If you had a small, you got a can. If you had a medium, you got a 20 ounce of pop, and then so on and so forth. But I think that's great that that way they don't have to order that extra. The pop is on Bartons.
Yeah, we did that for so many years. We gave away free pop, and we just changed it, I think, like a year ago. And so with the family and the jumbo, you get a 2 liter now. We couldn't give the pop because Pepsi, their prices kept going up like a lot, and so basically what they say, it's added into the cost. No, it's not.
It's really not.
No, I look at my competitors, I see what they're paying or what they're charging, and I try to stay under that,
Yeah.
I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna do it, So, but yeah, free pop, I love giving away things for free though.
Who doesn't?
No,
if you can,
so
why not?
good. And we do all these giveaways now.
Yeah.
Like share my posts and win a free whatever. And I love just giving things away.
Yeah, Barton's Pizzeria in Highland on Facebook. That's where you could find it. And another thing is, I'm at like a giving your flowers moment right now. How does it feel? Because I feel like you are pretty much one of the top dogs for pizza around here. You're definitely number 1 or number 2. So how does it feel taking that pride and having that, number 1, number 2 spot? Because to me, there is no other better place. Villa was one of them that I loved. I feel like it's changed over the years. I'm not going to shit on anyone. But I feel like it's changed. It's not the same Villa. But the fact that you're up here, and I feel like a lot of people are not up there. How does that feel?
It's experience. Because we've been in business for 60 years, because I've been doing this for 30 years, and my father did it for 30 years. It's experience, and I don't know. I don't look at it. I'm just working. I'm just trying to sell pizzas. I'm not really worried about what everybody else is doing, but there's a lot of pride in it. I want it to go on for at least 10 more years. I'm going to retire. And so we'll see what happens.
You can't do that.
Well, yeah.
You can't do that.
I'm getting tired.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Enjoy life a little bit.
And that's another thing too. Like I feel like other pizza places, they envy that. They envy what you have here. Yeah. I think that there's some sort of I wouldn't say jealousy, but they want, it's like the Wayans brothers with comedy. They have this formula where if someone else takes over, it's just not the Wayans touch. You know what I mean? And I feel like with here, this, I won't say any names, but I remember when I worked here, there was pizza places like contacting you like, oh, well, you have extra ovens, like, let me get those, buy them. So they know that there's something to that. I think ovens are key to any pizza place. That's the first thing I look, working in the pizza place, that's the first thing I look at when I walk into pizza place. I'm like, what kind of ovens they got? Right. They got what Nicole has? That's what I'm looking for.
I got these ovens date back to the 70s and the 60s. And so I see these other companies, I'll watch, on their Facebook or whatever, and they've got a conveyor oven. We had a conveyor oven. We went through everything. We tried to, whatever anybody was doing, we'd try it. And Blodgett, you can't get
Blodgett stone oven.
Nothing better, yeah.
So now, some people, obviously, this was a call I got all the time. So just to make it clear to anybody who watches, anybody who listens, this is Barton's Pizzeria, home of the Neapolitan pizza. What is a Neapolitan pizza?
A Neapolitan pizza is the style of crust. So it came from Naples, Italy. And it's a hand-tossed pizza. It's got the thicker lip around the edge and a thinner bottom. We do carry a thin crust and a double dough, or a double Neapolitan, which is double everything. People, everybody loves that pizza. It's so much pizza, though. It's huge, But, it's the style of crust. Came from Ralph Trusillo, and it was his recipe.
I think, the double Neo to me is that's like when you want to go big or go home, you get the double. You got to get the double dough or the double Neo because it literally is. Like me talking about it doesn't do it justice. Like the pizza slice is literally this thick, and it's beautiful to look at. One thing I don't know if this might exist now, but one thing I always kind of wanted to do when I was working here was I wish they had like a pizza game Olympics. Like he could send Nico to go stretch and make Barton's pizza at this place and do all this stuff. Well, now they have a festival.
They have that Pizza Expo
Yeah.
here too.
Dave Portnoy, the owner of Barstool, he goes around reviewing pizzas all over the world, whether it's in Italy, whether it's in New York, whether it's in Colorado or Indiana.
I love him.
He's A1. He's class act, and I follow his little his little grading score to a T.
too.
And I think it's so cool that he has brought such a light to the pizza game. Like he had this festival that just passed. I think it's called the One Bite Pizza Fest. And it's all these pizza places. They go there and they make their pizza, and he will go around and try all these things. Well, I think that is just so huge for mom and pop, for anywhere, because mainly it's geared towards these mom and pop pizza places.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you feel like when people like him bring my spotlight even more?
I think that's great. I think he's great. I'm waiting for him. Like I would watch.
You're
his-
waiting for the day he walks up.
I changed I dough-dock my thin crust because I know he likes thin crust. I know he likes cheese. If anybody orders by the name of Dave, and it's thin crust, let me make it, or make it really, really good. So if your name's Dave, you're always getting a A1 pizza. But no, I'm waiting for him. But he did Rico's. He did a pizza place in Black Oak. There's a place.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh.
Dude, I hope he comes. I hope this gets it out there. Dave, you need to come to Barton's
we're
Pizza in
waiting.
Highland. We're waiting for you.
We want you to come here. A lot of pizza places are like, oh, I don't want him. No, I think I want to meet him. I think he's great. He's doing sports here in
Chicago.
Yeah, okay.
He does Barstool Sports in Chicago. He has the sports book at Ameristar Casino down here is Barstool.
Yes.
He has his hands in a little bit of everything, and I think he is just so smart. And he's also one of those blue collar people, I feel. He just is 100%, he's still true to himself. And that's something you can't find. That's what I've always admired about you. You were always true to yourself.
Yeah, and in this region, we have so many. There's a pizza place on every corner. Go down Broad Street, there's like 7, And so he could have a field day out here,
Oh, yeah.
And
He needs to get here immediately.
Come out here.
Come out here, please.
No.
So while we're on the subject of food, what is the craziest thing you've ever eaten? Because you've gotten me to try some stuff. Like different stuff I would never have tried probably. And it was good. Some of it was bad, but some of it was good. But
What?
I didn't like sardines, and I know you love them. I know you love them.
Love them.
You do. And I've seen you eat them on pizza. I didn't mind them or anchovies. That's what it was. Anchovies. Sorry, sardines.
Sardines.
They're close to the same, ain't they? Right?
Well, they're a fish.
Yeah, whatever. They go on pizza. But you got me to try caviar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you did that with the Ritz cracker with the cream cheese.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, a little bit on top. That's nuts.
Oh, my God. There's not a food that I don't like.
But what's the craziest one you've ate? Like just wild out there.
So escargot, that's a little fishy, a little pondy, like ditch, like Katie ditch.
Oh, God.
They give you a little toothpick to pull out the muscle. And yeah, that could quiver me a little bit, but nothing. I mean, kiwi on pizza, that was a big thing for a little while.
Kiwi?
Kiwi.
Really?
It's like,
I never heard of that. I've heard pineapple. I never heard kiwi.
but no, I don't know. I don't think there's anything. Nothing's gonna stump me. No, I don't like beets, but I'll eat anything.
I remember on one of the Bartons nights out, you took us to House of Cody, and you got me to, you and Damien mainly, because he ordered the dish, and I was like, no way. But it was shrimp and eel, and it was my first time ever eating eel, and it was great. I'm not gonna lie, I eat it there every single time I go. Every time I go, that I have to get the shrimp and eel maki.
Really?
And but if it wasn't for you opening that door, I probably would never have been like, no way, I'm not trying that. So is sushi one of your go-tos?
Oh, yes.
I remember even when I worked here, you got sushi a lot.
Sushi, seafood, anything seafood. That's my thing.
Yeah, sushi. We're looking at a sushi place to do here.
Oh yeah.
On the podcast, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's
Love
one of my. That's not only that, but that's what opened the door. I was like, dude, I want to try that now because I'm willing for anything at this point. If you can move to any place in the U.S. after you retire, what would it be?
Oh Just somewhere warm. Where do we live here? It's the winters. We got like 3 months of summer. I like the cold. Actually, working at a pizza place, I'm all about freezing weather, but probably somewhere warm. I don't know, an island.
Like Epstein? No, I'm joking. That's horrible. But
Jamaica or something. I'd go.
oh wow, you're full
yeah.
send. You're out of here.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I love
Or
it.
Puerto Rico? You know, in Puerto Rico they have that tax law. Yeah, like you don't got to pay American taxes or something. Like there's a trick.
Really?
So usually when pizza places comes to mind, it's always Italian. Are you Italian? What is your ethnicity, your nationality, religion, all that? Let me know all that juicy stuff.
Let me tell you. So, we are not Italian, but there's okay. So, the recipe, everything, Bartons came from the recipes from Naples, Italy, and Ralph Trusillo, who was my grandmother's husband for many, many years. He was from Sicily. And so all the recipes came from Sicily. Ralph, when they were cooking and stuff like that, my dad was working for him. He grew up with him. And they lived the Italian way. Like before you had a meal, you had the tomato with the oil, with the bread, you dipped it with the garlic. We had that at every meal. She cooked like an Italian, like she was married to an Italian man. So you wouldn't think that she was Jewish or her parents were Jewish. But not Italian, but I mean, we were raised that way. We were raised to cook that way and to all the heritage and stuff like that. Now, I was Jewish for a period of time. My father was Jewish, but then I became a Christian. And so that changed me a lot. You know, religion is very important to me. I think it's made me a better business owner.
I think with any religion, it really, most religions are about discipline or living a certain lifestyle. And it really keeps, the only thing that comes from religion, well, everything comes good from religion, obviously, believing in a higher being and everything of that nature. But the discipline you see amongst other religions, it's really not too different. You know, be nice to others, give back what you want back. What you give in is what you get out of life. And really that's what everything teaches you with religion to me.
Yeah.
So I think that's good. As far as your ethnicity goes, what is it? Like, what are you?
Well, so on my father's side, they were Russian Jews.
Oh, wow.
They migrated from Israel to Russia. And then on my mother's side, Polish. They were Polish.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I'm half Puerto Rican, half Polish, like a Polar Rican. That's what they call me around the way. Yeah, Polar Rican.
Yeah.
It's a new term. Yeah, some people don't know. But I had to shave my mustache because people were. I had this friend that kept telling me like, "Oh, you abandoned your Puerto Rican side because you have a mustache." I'm like, "There's plenty of Latinos out there that have a mustache. Pablo Escobar, El Chapo, Zorro. There's all sorts of great people out there have mustaches. I don't understand." But it did. I guess it made me look a little dirty too. So I had to cut it. I had to cut it. My wife didn't like it. No one liked it. But yeah, I'm half Puerto Rican and half Polish myself. And you would have thought I was Italian. Pizza's the one thing I could probably eat every single day of the week.
Yeah.
Like always.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I have pizza every day. Every day. It's free. It's not, it's not fattening. I think our pizza is not fattening. We don't put we don't put sugar in the sauce. Like, if you want me to, I will. I'll make you a sweet sauce. I'll make you an Aurelio's pizza. You ask for the Dolce, I'll make you a sweet sauce pizza. But it's all it is sugar, you know.
I think that's one thing that this place should never change, though, because when I grew up, and then my cousins and I have other family, that's the one thing that they always say is different, is the sauce. Your sauce is so good. It's just, oh.
It's a secret sauce, too. We don't even have it written. The recipe is not even written down anymore.
Nope.
Like, it was written down at one point, and now it's like I don't even make the spices for it anymore. My husband does it. He will not, and they're in secret little containers, and nobody knows it.
Yeah, no one does know that sauce recipe.
Look that up.
When I used to make it, you never had it written down for me either. You told me.
Do you remember it?
Of course.
Stop.
I remember everything.
Don't tell anybody.
I would never tell anyone. I make it at home when I make my homemade pizza.
Stop it.
I do.
That's an infringement.
And
I might need a little kickback.
I'm not starting Nico's Pizza. It's okay. It's okay. This is just a home hobby. This is just a hobby.
All right.
But it's something that I talked about it on my last episode with Josh from Above Reality, which is he's awesome in many ways, but what the drone, him just getting a drone is something to mess with, sparked a passion. And with me, I said it on the last one, I always loved cooking from a young age.
Yeah.
But when I started here, it just opened it blew the fucking door off.
There's something about food. I mean, God made food so amazing. Like, think about when you're eating something, and it's just, it tastes great. It's just the textures and eating is just a love, isn't it?
Yes.
You can just when you get together with people, you share a meal.
Break bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's the saying. But another great thing that it's not only with food, but it's with certain smells.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's a smell out there that you could have and you're like, oh my gosh, that takes me back to this core memory. It'll immediately unlock that memory inside of your head. Food, I feel, is the same way. If I go to this restaurant and I'm like, man, this is exactly how I remember it. Or if you get something even similar in a different state, like in Florida, say you try this pizza and you're like, wow, this is about as close as it gets to Bartons. It will bring back every memory that I've had ever here. And there's so many memories here. It was such a good place to work. I loved it. It brought, another thing about you was like, you have a way of, if you see someone performing in here, you have a way of pulling, not just, if they're a good worker, you have a way of pulling them into this amazing worker echelon. Is that something that you developed over time? Like, I feel like you really did that with me. Like, I was one of the younger ones that was a manager. Like, I was one of the younger managers that I felt like I knew mostly everything. That was probably the younger me thinking like, I know everything.
Yeah, you do.
But it was so good, and I look back on it sometimes. You were hard on me. You were loving with me. You were awesome with. I can't speak volumes to how much of an impact you had on my life as far as it goes after Bartons with business. Sayings or stuff that you've always, you let talk to me. But all those times you thought maybe I wasn't listening or just the offhand remarks, dude, I was taking that in. And I always wanted to thank you for that. You were one of the most impactful women in my entire life.
Oh.
You really were.
Yeah, thank you. No, but yeah, no, I can tell a good worker from somebody that's not going to make it. We have a 3-day training period. 3 days, you think that's short, right? Mm-hmm. I know in day 2 if this person's going to be great or if he's a flop. And sometimes though, some people take a little bit longer. I think you took about 2 weeks, right? Like it was a couple weeks?
It was a few weeks. Like, so I remember the story. I almost got fired.
Right.
Yeah. I was here and I was working. I remember this was a huge knock on me. And I remember it like it was yesterday because when you told me the story, it was funny as hell. And, I was in here, it was about 2 or 3 weeks, and I remember I kept asking you things, like, Nicole, should I do this? Or Nicole, should I do that? And Nicole, should I do that? And I remember there was one girl here, she doesn't work here anymore, and I remember it was like one of your days off, and she was running the store, and she was like, I know one thing she doesn't like is how you're always asking her what to do. So I remember the next day, and I'm one person, you could tell, like, you're doing this wrong, and I will immediately either correct it or overcorrect. And I think that's one thing I did. I came in the next day and I was like, she's not going to tell me anything and I'm going to do whatever I think I should just do. And I remember when you told me that story, you're like, Nico, this one day I was coming in to fire you that day. And you knew everything. You were just doing you and you killed it.
It's not that I don't want people to ask me questions. That's how you learn,
Right.
But yeah, my little go-to, I'd say grab a bat, get in the game, just do it. If you're doing something wrong, I'll stop you. But take a chance. Don't be scared. Don't be like intimidated. Open that oven, pull that pizza out. Like I think that's more, I don't know. I think that's more drive. Like you have to do it. If you're going to do something, just do it, And so, yeah, you did it, you know.
Yeah, I did.
You did it. You were so young when you were a manager. That's amazing.
I think I was 16 and a half or 17.
But when I know that somebody has this potential and they're just like, you had so much, I think I was harder on you. And I think it was because I didn't get special privileges when I was growing up. I had an older sister. She's beautiful, Rachel. She's so pretty. She was the firstborn, and so they were like, "Oh, it's going to be Rachel. It's going to be Rachel." And then I have a twin brother, and so it was me and him, and he was the boy. You know, he was my dad's son. Obviously he wanted him to take it over, and for whatever reason, it turned out to be me. And when my dad was passing away, he said, "Who knew it was you? Who knew?" And I didn't even know, you know?
Gosh.
And so he said, "I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of what you did." And that was like the biggest, probably the most memorable thing in my entire life, that my dad was like happy. And, but yeah, it wasn't supposed to be me. It was supposed to be Rachel, or it was supposed to be Nick. But yeah, it was me.
I remember when you handed me the keys to the place, and I was still in high school. I was leaving there. I was in a program where I left early because I was on, this place wasn't.
You went to Griffith?
Yeah, I went to Griffith.
I was in the same program.
Yeah, it was like ICE or ICU program.
Yeah.
Where you leave at noon, and I remember I would leave Griffith right over here, walk right down Ernest, unlock the pizza place. I'd make a little dough, maybe do sauce if we needed it, and I'm like, oh well, we're probably not going to use that much this day or whatever. Do the sauce and start the ovens. And I just remember having that responsibility. I thought it was so dang cool, but I felt like it paid off. All those times where she was nipping at me, or she was doing that, or she was hard on me. This was my payment. This was where it all came to, where it paid off. So like, it goes with what I always said. Like, you work hard to play hard.
Right.
You really do. And you do what you know, or you do what you love. And that's one thing you said your father told you that, and you told me that. And I stick with that 100% with a lot of things.
Right.
And anything you do it at 100.
Exactly.
And there's certain people that have actually told me that. Like, dude, there's just certain people out there that when they do it at 100.
Yeah, why not?
You have to.
Yeah. You have to. Otherwise, you're wasting your time.
So as a female in the business industry, you're, obviously it's already harder for you because most businesses traditionally were by men. How was that really just making a name for yourself and you becoming what it is now with Bartons? You've built a little empire out here.
Oh, well, it was my dad that really did it. I just copied. And I just copied everything he did. I just didn't stray away. I mean, I do new things and I try to do innovative things, coming up with things. But I just copied. I just mimicked exactly what he did. And it's worked out. And so why take, when you got a great thing, why stray away from it? Like, watch. I watched and I learned and I tried to remember every little detail. And that's what I do. But starting out, it was never, I'm older now. I'm a lot older. So, it's a little easier now being a female in this. But when I started out, when I was a manager, I was 20 years old. The people would come in, have a problem with me, and they're like, "Give me the boss." And I'm like,
"Hi."
Hey.
I remember that a couple times.
Oh, they're so mean. So we had my grandmother actually, after they sold the Wedge in, she opened a jazz and blues bar in Calumet City. It was called the Grapevine Lounge. Everybody's parent would know what this is. It lasted 30 years. It was an amazing pizza place and lounge. And they actually put me in there when my sister was going through a divorce. And they said, "You got to run this." So my whole life I was like, run this business, run this business. And so in my 20s, I was in Calumet City. And I was running this jazz and blues bar. And my employees were musicians. And they were up on stage, and they were like 70 years old. Like, they were old piano players.
I remember you said blues, right? Blues or jazz? Jazz, that's what it was.
Charles Morgan, he had this band, and he was 70 years old. And when he passed away on stage, actually. It's a crazy story. And then we had this other guy that filled in on piano. And they would get mad, and they'd just, like, walk off the stage. Nobody listened to me. Like, nobody. I was a white girl in a black area, running a business, and nobody believed who I was, or, it was just, I do that too. When I go into a business, I'm like looking around to see who the owner is, and I'm looking for the male, and I mean, that's just a common thing. So I had to work a little bit, twice as hard, but I don't let it go to my head. Like,
Well, you walked through the fire. You took that on, and it's the fruits of your labor coming home. That's what it is. That's what I feel like. It's really good. If you could start one business right now, not a pizza place, what would it be?
Start a business?
Start one.
So my passion, I loved working out and I loved kickboxing, and we actually did open a kickboxing gym some years ago, about 2016. It only lasted a year, and because I was so tired. We worked out. It was every single day, and I just, after a year, I'm like, they were going to raise my rent, and something was happening. But I'm glad it's gone, because COVID would have knocked us out of the ballpark. But but we continued. I love kickboxing, I still do. But start a business? Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I'd go work for somebody else.
Really?
Yeah, I would.
You wouldn't start a bar or a bar and grill?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't really drink anymore. Since I became a Christian, I have no desire for that. But I don't know. I wouldn't start a business.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I go work for somebody else. I'll go and punch my clock, and I would go. You know what I do though? I would go to like a Bennigan's or a Chili's or I don't know.
Round the clock?
Not around the clock. Not like a nicer place, and I would go for management, and I would make their schedule, and I would, because I have experience in that. But I would go to a big corporation and just be a manager. That's what I would do.
So one of the last pizza questions I got, if there was somebody out there right now that you could speak to right now, and they were saying, I'm going to start a pizza place, what would it take? What is your best advice you could give them right now, starting from the ground up?
Okay. You have to have a good recipe. I see a lot of places open up, and they don't have, their product's terrible, and I just don't know how people are selling pizzas. You have to have a good recipe. You have to have a knowledge of dough. Dough's key. A lot of people can't do it. You got to have a mixer. You got to make your own dough, and you have to know how. There's a lot of things that go with dough. You know this.
Oh, dude.
Water.
Boy, do I.
The yeast that you use, it's all. I'm not going to give away all my secrets, but and
I think water temperature is the biggest one. Without a doubt.
Absolutely, and so you have to be able to make. We stay true to fresh ingredients. You can't buy everything out of a can or a lot of things are processed now, and there's pizza place companies everywhere that will. They're catering to these pizza places because we have so many here. So it's hard not to fall into that. Like I could just buy this instead of making it. So you got to stay true to that, and you have to be there. I think I'm going to retire and take off and sit at home. I take off the summers a lot of times, and I'll sit by the pool and stuff like that. But I have to be here every day. I work every day. Like you have to. I come in at 10 o'clock in the morning, I do stuff, and then I'm here at 9 o'clock at night, closing things down or making sure every day. Time.
That's what it takes.
Yeah.
You gotta be in tune. You gotta be dedicated to this, because once you open that business, like what I said before in this interview, it's not just this business. That's your name up there.
Right.
That's what's gonna count at the end, and you got to make sure that that's always what it is.
Right.
You got to be in tune with it. You got to always be striving to make that same product, consistency, because that's one thing too. If they're getting an inconsistent product, they're gonna stop.
I know.
If I come in here and I get my sausage, jalapeno, and pepperoni, and it doesn't taste the same the next time I come in,
oh yeah,
I'm not gonna order there then. You know what I mean? And that's what happens with these places that they might have.
Yeah, it's so funny because you can get a pizza like. A lot of times, if there is a problem with somebody, they'll go, "I've never had a problem, ever," and I'm like, "That's amazing! It's amazing that you never had a problem. You've been ordering how many years? 30 years? We've never had a problem, and this time we did. We burnt your pizza or whatever.
It happens.
So, no, exactly. But you're only as good as your last. I mean, I could do perfect every single time, and then one time. I did, the pizza slipped or something, or it was cold. and they won't order from you for a couple months. They'll be like, last time I ordered, it was 35 minutes.
And they love poking that bear.
Yeah, and so no, you're only as good as your last pizza.
So now to get away, like with current events, I know a lot of business owners don't really pay attention to what's going on. They're so like blinders on.
And we're working.
Yeah, always working. So did you hear about that guy that was on his way to a job interview and he saw, it was in Florida, and a 13-foot alligator had a bottom person in its mouth. The bottom, like half of a person hanging out of its mouth.
Really?
Yeah, and he ran, his name was, his name was like Jamarcus Bullard. He was in Florida, and he was on the news. I saw the interview.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was on my way to a job interview when I just looked over in the pond, and it was actually my first time seeing an alligator. This thing was 13 feet long and had, I think it was a female's legs.
What?
Hanging out of it. Yeah. What he said he did was he ran to the fire station and told the firemen, and they killed it. They ended up killing it, found the remains. I don't know if they ever connected it to a person, but you said you were moving to like Jamaica and stuff. That stuff's going to be hardcore out there.
I'm not going to move to Jamaica.
No, but you're going to go. If you go to a southern state, you got to be careful with the gators.
Oh yeah, I know.
Is there any animals that you are extremely afraid of?
Sharks.
Me too.
Sharks and tornadoes. I can't. I can't.
Tornado? We get some of those up here.
I know I can't. Do you remember when I'd be working and I drank back then?
Yeah.
I was a drinker back in the day, years and years ago. And every time, it was like the storm would come through, and I'd make the driver go get me like a bottle of tequila so I could sit here and drink so I wouldn't be scared of the, isn't that horrible?
Takes the edge off sometimes. I mean, I don't mind it. Who doesn't need one after a hard day? You're running a business here. But no, it's pretty crazy. Like I don't mess with sharks either. I'm really afraid of. My wife was just having this conversation with me last night. She wants to get a small monkey, and those I'm not down for that.
He grew up with monkeys. My dad had 2 woolly monkeys, and Sammy and Susie, and so before I was born, and yeah, that's.
So they kill you?
No,
Chimps
they're
kill
little. Well, don't get it. You can't get it. I don't think you can get a chimpanzee. Can you?
Yeah, they domesticate some, but they're never truly domesticated. Like they'll rip your face off. That's what they do. They revert to the insane primal state. There's people out there that have like the one lady. She was playing with it was like a little chimp named Travis, and it was like the nanny of the chimp, and she took his Elmo doll. I'm so serious. He ripped off her hands, her face, her eyeballs, everything. They'll do everything but kill you. It's like living torture.
Stop.
It's horrible. I swear.
Yeah, don't get that.
Don't get a chimp. But my wife wants to. I'm not doing it. And not only that, you got to change that thing's diapers.
Oh, it's like a baby.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, forever. A baby forever.
Never.
No, I couldn't do it.
I couldn't. I got one, and I'm never. I never want another one. She is just fine with me.
She's awesome.
So another thing about current event, have you seen the Philly riots?
No, I don't watch TV.
Jesus. Well, that just broke out.
Really?
Yeah, but they're like rioting and looting. People are rioting and looting for no reason.
People just want to loot.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think it's like California. Like people in California now, they're getting to a point where it's so hard with this economy. They're like, well, fuck it. I work 40 hours a week. Why should I not be able to afford anything? So they're just going in Walmarts and taking what they want.
Really?
Like, Target just closed like 50 stores, they're saying, across the U.S. And I don't think anybody realizes it, but the thing that worries me most about this is when everything goes digital. Because with all these riots, with all this looting, that's what's going to happen. All these stores are finally going to up in arms one day and say, you know what? Fine, we'll send everything out from our warehouse. You don't have nothing to loot.
Right.
And once everything goes digital, I'm scared.
You think so?
I don't want things to go digital. I feel like that's when we'll get controlled. Like
oh, yeah. No, yeah. No, I don't.
Because that means no more cash. You ain't going to be able to pay cash through online.
Cash is king. I don't think that's going to happen. You think? Nothing's like a brick and mortar. Where are people going to sit at home? Where are they going to go?
Never say never.
They're going to sit at home.
But look at what it's promoting. These riots, these loots, no matter what it is, no one wants their shit stolen.
Right.
So these businesses, they have a business to operate. Maybe some of it's insured, or they might get a kickback or something. But eventually, some of these businesses are going to be like, forget it. We'll just have this warehouse here. They could put all their orders in online, and we're going to give it to them. And that's what this looting and this rioting is promoting. People are going to stop being businesses, and it's sad. It's sad to watch at this day in America.
You got to just bring your gun to work. That's what I would do.
Yeah. That's what
Put it right on the counter.
I saw some dude running for president the other day. It was like, you know how we stop this stuff? You are immediately shot. You will be shot the second you start looting. You'll die like a dog.
I love that.
So it's crazy. Have you ever thought about extreme sports?
Like what?
Like my cousin just went skydiving. I would never go skydiving.
Never. No. No.
You wouldn't?
Nope.
Neither would I.
Why?
Some people like the rush.
Whatever.
But I think what scares me more is like, okay, so like the first time, like I think it's like the first 5 times you go, you got to be strapped to like a real person.
Yeah.
That's pulling the chute and everything, because obviously your mental state, I wouldn't be able to just jump out and be like, all right, just pull this cord.
Yeah.
So she was, but the thing was, my cousin was like strapped to some guy named Raul, and I don't. Oh, come on. I mean, what was that? Oh yeah. I might want to.
Sounds like kind of fun.
But no, it's like I wouldn't know how to feel. Like my life is in Raul's hands, and we've only known each other for like 3 practices. this is a lot I got riding on you, Raul.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't do anything like that.
You wouldn't do
Zip lining? Have you zip lined before?
That's an extreme sport.
Is it?
I mean, I guess you're bungee to the. I guess it could break,
It's not an extreme
especially in my
sport.
case. You know how heavy you're set, man.
A sport? Parachuting is not a sport.
Sure, it is.
You think?
Or hang gliding. You just like
gliding.
run and go.
No, I want to do that parasailing.
Oh, okay.
I'll do that on a boat over the water. That's it.
Yeah, I guess there's no trees. You can't really get hung up. As long as it's like a lake, right? Not an ocean, because there's sharks.
Ocean.
They don't put you in the water. You're above.
What?
They
You gotta
reel
come down.
Well, they reel you in, I think.
They reel you in straight onto the. You don't get zero wet, zero ocean action
I
at
don't
all.
think so. I'll let you know. I'm going to Jamaica for Bob's birthday. He's turning
Really?
60.
Jesus, that dude's a vampire.
I know. He's so young, right?
He looks about my age. Like he's a pretty looking dude. Like he's definitely
Takes care of himself.
yeah. Cause even when I seen him after 10 years, I was like, Jesus, Bob, he found the fountain of youth. Somewhere, he's drinking, whatever water you're feeding that man, or food, pizza,
Take care of him.
whatever you're
eats
feeding,
pizza.
yeah, whatever you're feeding him
Look what
here.
it looks like.
Yeah, it doesn't have a problem with age, I'll tell you that.
Not at all.
What is the best dishes in your eyes that you are known for?
At the here.
Here at
personally?
Bartons. No, well, here at Bartons.
So, our ribs, and not a lot of people know about it. We make our ribs from scratch in our other location. We have a sealer, we package it, we bake them, and they are so good. We'll flash freeze them, so they keep all their juices and everything. And we have a lane cooker here. And I'm telling you, the meat falls off the bone. It's amazing. I take these ribs home just as is, cook them on my grill, but they're already cooked, you know. And so I caramelize them with barbecue sauce. Amazing. I love our ribs. I love our pizza, obviously. We have pasta. Pasta's amazing. Baked masticcioli, amazing. What else?
I think one of the best dishes that you're most well known for too is the stromboli.
Yes.
The stromboli is, and the tomato bread.
Yeah.
It's very good, and I can't wait to. We're gonna be able to see you make all this stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, with that being said, if someone could walk into Barton's right now and say, "I've never had this place. What should I get?" What's the first reply Nicole gives?
What's the best thing? I have to look at the.
Best
Our
thing is-
Italian beefs are great.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love the Italian beef. I have to look. We have this new Italian bowl. I love the Italian bowl. And it's weird because I'm not much of a meat eater. Like I like seafood or shrimp is good. We have shrimp. It's really good.
Really?
Yeah, like jumbo shrimp,
Oh man.
like fantail, amazing. But I like things without meat. But we carry a gluten-free crust, which is big right now. We have a vegan cheese, not a lot of people, dairy-free cheese. So, and that's good too. I was surprised that vegan cheese is good. It doesn't taste like mozzarella cheese, it tastes like cream cheese, which is amazing.
Wow.
And so, yeah, those things are great.
Yeah, there's other businesses around here that I want to kind of spotlight, and I want to get on. So what would be some of the businesses around here maybe that you would want me to maybe spotlight? I know the one place I do want to do is charcuterie.
Yes.
In downtown Griffith.
Yeah.
I just liked the vibe when I walked in when we went a few weeks ago. The vibe was like A1.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, other than the people playing like finger soccer.
Right.
It was wild.
Oh, that was a little weird.
they had a tournament.
I love that place because it's people from Griffith. A guy I grew up with, he grew up on the next street as me, Skip Jones, and him and his girlfriend are running this place, and Valerie, and they are spectacular people. They really are. And so I love like the loungy type vibe, and everybody's so nice. They're like, make you feel comfortable. It's a wine bar. They serve food, charcuterie. You can get a charcuterie whenever you want. They always have entertainment there. I love that place. It's my new hangout. Like if I'm not here, I'm there. You know, just chilling, and nobody bothered. If you don't want to be bothered, they'll be like, "Are you on date night?" And we're like, "No." And they're like, "Do you want to come sit with us?" You know, they're.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're so nice.
Damn, I'm gonna try to make contact and get them on for sure. I want to get them, and like the scenery in there is just, it makes you feel relaxed.
Skip did it all himself too. Like and Valerie's so good with stuff like that. Like I've seen her like do her little just like decorations, stuff like that. I can't do that. Like I'm not that talented.
I love getting hometown people involved too.
Yeah.
It's just good. It's good for everyone.
Yeah.
That building blocks, like I said, that I speak about it all the time. That I love. I would rather elevate with people than just elevate alone.
Oh yeah.
And not only that, but nothing bad can come from helping everyone and everyone helping you too.
Yeah.
And I feel like some people think like, oh, we just don't need help, or we do need help, or whatever it may be, and it's just good. I like it. Another place I know I was looking at was Sweet Moon Macaroon. I went to high school with her.
Oh,
She's
really?
a Griffith alum. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's right across the street from Charcuterie.
Oh, I've had it.
Oh, you've had them? Mm-hmm. I've never had them. Are they good?
Yeah. Oh, I love macaroons. I do.
They're good. So, with that being said, I want to see you start making some food.
Yes.
I want to see, and
You gonna help me?
Yeah, I'm gonna help you. We're gonna eat. We're gonna break bread, and this is how people come together. So
That's right.
I would say that's a wrap, right?
Yeah. Awesome.
Awesome.
It's great. This was my favorite job, this part. The stretching.
The cooking.
It's definitely an art. Can't just come out and... A lot of places have like the rollers and whatnot. We do everything hand. We'll start with a large. Get that excess off. I'll come over here a little bit. And the toss, when you toss your dough, it stretches it so much faster.
It really does.
That's why they do it.
Yeah.
Because you got to be fast. So you want to take what you want to do?
And this is the Neapolitan style with the thinner bottom with the thicker crust. So that's what we do. Then ladle the sauce.
Like a pro.
Spread that around.
Yeah.
Circular motion, not too hard though.
Nope.
Or else it'll seep through. You don't want it to get soggy before it even gets there, and then you have a mess.
True that. So what are we going to put on it?
What are you guys feeling today?
What do you like?
What are you feeling today, guys?
Everything.
Anything we want. All right. Sauced up.
All right. So sausage?
Yeah, let's go
Have
sausage. Now, there's different kinds, right? This is crumbly style
This is
sausage.
crumbly. This is what we're known for. We do have a chunk style sausage. People like that too. But I like this.
Nothing hits like this.
Is this how you make yours?
Of course. Well,
Do you put more, a little bit more?
yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're
I'm
good.
like I'm always quick. And then do you want, we'll do cheese and then we'll just load it up on top.
Yeah, let's load up the rest on top for sure.
You take it all the way to the edge. You know why we do that?
Yep.
Do you remember why? Why do we take the cheese all the way to the edge?
Because once it cooks,
Yep.
the crust rises.
It rises, and then the cheese fuses to this crust. So when you take a bite, your cheese doesn't.
Doesn't
Is
slide
that why
on.
it slips up?
Yep. Because
Yeah.
they don't take it all the way to the edge.
Yeah. Right.
I'm
Right.
telling you, it's a different breed.
We learned
You guys
it.
like pepperoni?
All right.
Yeah.
Let's
I'm
go.
gonna let you
We're
do
gonna
that.
Pepperoni it. And the thing she always told me with pepperoni was you want to be able to put it on here so that way when it's cut, this customer gets one in every single bite, no matter what. Because sometimes you'll get a cut and it'll, obviously they'll slip through or you'll cut it in half and you won't see the whole pepperoni. But you want to be able to have these customers get it and have a bite of every ingredient in every single bite, or else it's not consistent.
Did I tell you that?
You did.
Did I?
You said you wanted them to get a piece of pepperoni in every single bite.
I don't remember half the things I
Well,
said.
it was like 13, 14 years ago. It's all good. You guys like onion?
You got it. Freshly cut every day. Every day. I like having Strax here because we have
Ingredients.
fresh ingredients all the time. What else do you like? You got jalapenos. You gotta do the jalapenos, right?
Yeah, you could do the jalapeno.
You wanna do half?
Touching the onions with
I got my
that,
gloves.
so yeah, you got that.
You want half jalapenos? How
yeah,
about
we'll
that?
do half.
That's your pizza,
It is.
right?
It's my-
Jalapeno.
this is my favorite right
Mine is jalapeno, pepperoni, and pineapple. Is that too less for you? You like a little bit more heat?
My wife.
Oh, you're perfect.
my
Yeah?
wife with the pineapple.
I like pineapple. I made my pineapple last night.
All right.
Remember how I was complaining about the pineapple?
Yeah. Now it's from here to the oven.
We're gonna go right
20 minutes at what degrees, Nicole?
550. I'm gonna open this oven. You'll feel some heat. All right. Okay, so we're gonna do tomato bread.
Yep.
All right, so with tomato bread, like cutting it all the way through. Just regular butter.
Shout out to Blue Bonnet.
Now my competition, don't copy me. I know what you're doing.
But it'll never be Barton.
No, it won't because we have this special shake. So I make this myself. Can't tell you what's in it. And that's the key right there.
And this is the fresh mozzarella that you use for the pizza as well,
Yes,
correct?
it is.
Okay.
It is. And then just tomatoes, and then we put a little bit of love on top. I go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oopsies. Put a little bit of spices, a little bit of Parmesan. Easy as that. And that's going to go in the oven as well. And then, what else do you want to make? The ribs. Oh, we got to do the ribs. All right. Rib time. I got it all set up. Oh, can you get me the barbecue sauce out of that? So we make these in our Hammond location because they have the sealer over there. So this is all air sealed. Usually it's in a marinade. My sister told me the other day, she goes, you don't marinate it anymore. I do. I just, certain batches I don't. And then we're just gonna cover it in sauce. And,
Go ahead.
go ahead, tell me.
And like what you said in the interview, this is already seasoned, cooked.
Oh,
to
yeah.
perfection. And this is your sauce.
Homemade.
Caramelizing it.
Right,
Homemade,
but
100%.
But yeah, it gives us a little bit of advantage to make these really quickly. So I'm gonna put this in this Lane cooker. This is for caramelizing. And you'll see how great that's going to turn out. All right, and then one more thing, we're going to do a mozzarella. Oh, with stromboli, right?
Yes.
All right,
One of my favorites.
I'm going to do that. Okay. Stromboli. I'm going to let you do this one, okay? Why? You can't right now? All right.
I want this to be yours.
Okay, I'll grab this. We're gonna go up here to the cook table. So a lot of other places do strombolis, but it's not like this.
And that's not like yours.
No. So, can't have a dry part of the bread. You put it on and you take it off. Two separate sides. It doesn't take a lot either.
And for anyone that doesn't know, this is pretty much a pizza on bread sandwich.
But yeah. Some people like it open face. My husband likes it open face. I like it smashed.
I love smashing it too.
But it's two separate sides, so I can close it. What would you like on it? Do you want just sausage and cheese,
Yeah,
or you want
I want to do sausage, cheese, and pepperonis.
pepperoni?
Yeah.
Easy, easy.
I think that's when it's the best. Just keep it simple.
Yeah. It is simple too. I'm gonna throw this in the oven. Do this a little spin. All right. It's an amazing thing. It comes with garlic bread and salad. I can't eat a whole one of these. Me and Bob share it, you know?
Oh yeah.
It's awesome. Okay.
Put on your half mark. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. And that is a large pizza from Barton's Pizzeria and how it's done.
All right.
You're ready.
So there you have it. We have our tomato bread. We have our pizza, our Neapolitan hand-tossed pizza. We have the baked mozzarella. This is with a link sausage and a meat sauce. Amazing. Our stromboli sandwich that we usually, it's a smash sandwich. I like smashing it close. And then we have our barbecue ribs. Comes with fries and garlic toast. That's it.
Thank you for listening to the Unqualified Professionals. Follow us on SoundCloud, Facebook, and Instagram.
Let's go, let's rock and roll. Let's go, let's rock and roll. When the light turns green, I'll put on a show. Out on the road is where I spend my days. My 426 Hemi was built to race. These four horses always set the pace. Let's go, let's rock and roll. Let's go, let's rock and roll. When the light turns green, I'll put on a show. Cars all around like to challenge me. My road runner's faster, can't you see? Pull up, and when the light turns green, let's go, let's rock.